It's now time for your administrative update with your administrator, Chad Brecklin. Chad, how you doing today?
I'm great, Jeremy. How are you?
Living the dream. We're going to start with election recap. Had a really good turnout, but it's always a good time to reflect back on just how many folks are involved with our elections coming together and making it happen. Plus, we had another polling location.
There is definitely a lot that goes into an election. I mean, the city has 7 polling locations, and as we've chatted previously, there are new locations, some folks voting in new locations. We used the Hastahochi for the first time this year for our elections up on Traceway Drive. We shuffled some wards around on the west side of town as to where they vote. And it really does take a whole lot of planning that goes on behind the scenes. It's led by our clerk's office, Tracy Oldenburg, and her team. But then we look at folks like IT and building maintenance and highway and parks maintenance and all host of other city employees who help get all of the equipment to where it needs to go, get it set up, ensure that it's working properly. And then we obviously have our resident community election workers or poll workers as well who come out and also help support elections on voting days. And we're very fortunate to have a dedicated group of not only staff but community members who come together and stay current on all of the election-related matters to ensure that we have fair, transparent, and honest elections here in the city. And it's just such a great, fortunate thing for us to have a community of staff and community members put that on. And we had a nice turnout. I mean, typically April elections may not always have the turnout that we saw. There was just one statewide election on there, and I think just one contested county election in the Fitchburg polling locations. But we had about 54% of voter turnout, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, like you said, it does take a village. I was thinking they had the training here, and I didn't know we had that many polling workers. So, I mean, like you said, it's pretty incredible. And,
there's a
lot goes into that. So, thank you to everybody.
You usually have multiple shifts per day at each location, right? It's pretty difficult for somebody to be able to spend from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Plus the extra work that goes into it afterwards.
Right.
And the absentee, too. We can't forget
Correct.
about that. This started a while back as well. So
those are long days for Tracy and her team leading up, not only leading up, but even in the days following an election. They're putting a lot of hours, and I can't thank them and everybody else enough.
All right, we move on to annual street resurfacing plan. You talked a little bit about this because the contract was awarded at our last or 2 council meetings ago. I'm going to go back on that.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, resurfacing, what does that entail?
So each year we do an annual street resurfacing program that usually covers, I think, roughly 2.5 to 3 miles worth of roads, depending on how much funding is budgeted and what the cost of the asphalt and associated work is. And in this particular case, resurfacing usually involves no reconstruction work. So like a curb and gutter, if it's broken up or cracked, might be repaired, but we're not moving curb and gutter, for instance. So basically, we're taking a couple of inches off the surface of the road, and then we're putting new road surface right down exactly where the old surface was. So that's why we call it a resurface versus a larger project. That would be more of a reconstruction where there might be water and sewer going in, there might be curb and gutter being moved or added for the first time, or the road might be shifted, or those sorts of things. So what we're talking about here is just our annual resurfacing. The roads have reached their useful lifespan. The engineering department has determined that they need to be replaced. We put it out to bid. And every year, some sections of road are resurfaced.
Letters did go out to residents that were in the affected area. Public information meeting happened. But if anybody has any questions about roads in general, or just like they're concerned, how do they reach out?
One thing I would like to add before I add that is we know that these road resurfacing projects can be an inconvenience to either a property owner, a resident, or a business. And we do certainly try to minimize those, but obviously weather can significantly impact how quickly a resurfacing project can be done. And we do ask for for patience as the contractor works through all of this. Obviously, as you mentioned, notification has gone out, and we do ask that when the contractors begin the work that ideally they identify that start period at least with the residents that are affected or property owners that are affected. But again, while it might look like it should only take a few days, sometimes it's going to take a little bit longer because of weather or other complications. And so patience is appreciated. And then as far as to your direct question, Jeremy, as you're sitting there very patiently waiting for me to get to that point, there's a couple ways. Reach out to our engineering department. Ross Keller, our transportation engineer, is probably the main point of contact. If you have road resurfacing or road condition questions or comments. And then, of course, the city's website. There's always the Submit a Concern available for folks that can just go in and type in the information that they would wish to share or engage with the city on, and we'll look to review that and get back.
And if you did miss that, the public information meeting on this, we recorded it. It's on our website, so you can check that out as well. And, of course, if there's any major updates, we'll update you as that moves along. All right. We're right like a day away from Earth Day 2026. A lot of events have already taken place in the city. But as I was reading them out to you, I was like, there's a lot of volunteers that come out. Sort of picking up where we left off with our elections. Takes a village. But we had waterway cleanups. We got some tree planting coming up this week and the e-recycling, but it's just kind of a cool time to get involved. Like I think of Earth Day, I think this is when I think like people get involved in fun activities.
Well, how I look at things in some regards with these events is, we're in Wisconsin, we're coming out of winter. We're in spring. People are starting to get energized about, the change of seasons and, ideally what's happening after spring, at least in my personal opinion, summer. It's just kind of that renewal of each season and year. And all of these events kind of time out with that. And it's a great opportunity for folks who are, coming out of their hibernation, if you will, or they're looking to celebrate a particular event like Earth Day or tree planting event. Or if they just know that it's time for some spring cleaning and they're looking to take and get rid of some e-waste or need some paper shredded, those sorts of things. Spring seems to be a good time for that, and people are more than happy to come out and also volunteer to help put these events on. Obviously, staff works with some committees and commissions to help put some of these events on. And we truly appreciate all the work that staff and these committees and commissions do to make these events happen. But truly, it also requires those other volunteers to help, whether it's traffic direction on the shred and recycle day, or whether it's making sure that we've got the trees properly staked and located and those sorts of things. It takes many hands to do all that work.
Yeah, no, we hope to see folks out there at the remaining events, and you can check that on our website for more information on time and location. Bring gloves. That's like all of
water.
Bring gloves and water. Yeah. Finally, we're going to talk a little bit about the comprehensive plan and zoning code update. Two things that you might be hearing here, but are super important for residents to learn about. When will these be starting this year?
Yeah. So our comprehensive land use plan, or often referred to as our comp plan, does determine how the city develops and grows, where, how, when, and we're required by state statute to do that, I believe, every 10 years. And I think we're on about year 7 of the current plan, and it's time to do an update on that. So we have our planning and zoning administrator, Deanna Schmidt, and her team have been working to identify consultants to help assist with updating our comprehensive land use plan, and then follow that up with a zoning code update to reflect what has been potentially changed or modified, or ensure that if nothing is changed or modified in the land use plan, that our zoning code still accurately reflects how best to accomplish those goals within the plan. We anticipate, after they've reviewed the requests for proposal responses that they received, that they will have a contract with a selected vendor moving to Common Council here in the month of May. And then the process will begin. We anticipate that this is going to be an 18 to 24 month process. And of course, there will be a number of opportunities along the way for folks to stay informed, stay engaged, and also to share feedback.
Yeah, feedback's important in this one. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for you to come out, share your feedback, and learn more about the plan and the zoning code update. So it's exciting stuff to come.
For sure.
For the rest of the year. All right, well, appreciate the time. Next time you're here, I think we officially call it close to summer. It's close enough, right?
Yeah.
But appreciate the time, John.
Thank you.